About 2 years into this job, a song came out called Hey Ya. Some of you know where this is going. For those of you who don't, Hey Ya was a wildly popular song that encouraged people to shake it like a Polaroid picture. And we started getting calls and emails. I was always told not to shake my Polaroid pictures. Now this song is telling me that I should shake them. What's the deal? Well, here's the deal. In the early days of Polaroid, when you took an instant picture, you peeled the print off of a negative and it left a wet residue on it. And you were supposed to lay it down on the table for 60 seconds to let it dry, but human nature being what it is, people started doing this to make it dry faster. But in the 70s, the company came out with a new type of instant photography where you push the button and it came out the front, and you watched it develop right in front of you. But it was a completely dry process. It all took place inside the frame, so you didn't have to wave it or shake it. In fact, if you did wave it or shake it, you risked damaging the plastic or having the chemicals spread unevenly. And of course, that's the one in the video for the song that everybody is waving all over the place. So I took all that information I just gave you and I put it in a nice, neat little 3-paragraph FAQ. I got all my approvals for correctness, and I posted it on the website. And I came in the next morning, and I saw that it had been viewed more than 5,000 times in less than 12 hours. A very early primitive example of something going viral. So I did all the calculations, and I ran to my boss's office, and I tackled him as he came in that day, and I said, Tom, look at all this money I just saved the company. Let's talk about my new office a little later in the day. The next morning I came in, and Tom was waiting for me at my desk, and it was not to hand me a bonus check. He'd been called the night before by his boss, demanding to know who was responsible for putting this information on the website. Turns out Reuters had written an article entitled, Polaroid Urges Buyers Not to Shake It, which had been picked up by everybody, not least of which was the New York Times, the Times of London, CNN, all the big ones. And the thrust of the article was, and I'm paraphrasing here for the words of somebody who was on CNN, this is the reason why the company's going in the toilet. Here they have a wildly popular song encouraging people to buy their product and do something with it, and somebody in the company thinks it's a good idea to tell people not to do that thing. We were a one-income family. I was 2 years into my first mortgage. I had a 15-month-old and a 1-month-old at home. And in that moment in front of my boss, I felt closer to my baby daughters than I ever had since becoming a father, because I was dangerously close to needing a diaper myself. And on top of all of that, I got to sit and watch my #1 celebrity crush, Tina Fey, look at me dead in the eyes on the other side of the TV screen and use the situation as a joke, as a lead-in for a joke on that week's episode of Saturday Night Live. As if to say, you're never gonna have me now, Paul. But as the day went on and the questions were asked and the meetings were held, I became a lot more at ease with what I'd done. Whether it was a genuine concern or a curiosity, people were looking for information, and I provided it, and I provided it honestly, and I saved the company some money. I was doing my job, as I was taught to do it, the way I was brought up. So, nobody ever came to me and said, good job, Paul. But my boss sent me back to my cube with a don't worry about it, and the name from somebody in the marketing department that he strongly urged me become my new best friend if something like this should ever happen again. So it all blew over. I went my way a couple years later, Polaroid went its way, leaving only one bit of unfinished business. So on the off chance that Tina's here tonight, I have a much better job now.